All right, y'all, we are back with another video. And before we start, please put prayers for Donald Trump in the comment section. We must protect President Trump at all times. And it brings me to this video right here where JD Vance just straight ended Kristen Welker's career. NBC host. It's like, I really don't get it. See, but this is the thing I like about JD Vance and Donald Trump. They are willing to go to these places like NBC, CNN, ABC, where they ain't liked, where they pretty much criticize for everything they say and ain't scared to answer any questions, unlike Kamala Harris, who ain't did a single interview yet. But you'll get Kristen Welker, all of these people always trying to talk crap about Donald Trump. Them, at least they are doing interviews. When you got Kamala Harris, ain't did not one sit-down interview yet. Not even on CNN. She ain't did anything. I can't say how people like this even deserve to even have a job. The way she was trying to talk to JD Vance is just crazy. But I like the way he handled it. All she did was go after Donald Trump like she always do, spreading lies, trying to spread lies about JD Vance, type of why did you say this? Why did you say that? But they don't want to question Kamala Harris on anything. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight into this video. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. That way you can stay up to date with everything that's going on. And let's check out this clip by Liberal High Mind. So let's go.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Okay, so I guess we're tackling a different narrative today. Honestly, I'm a little bit relieved. I'm kind of tired of talking about the same thing over and over again. Enough emphasis on Kamala Harris in the media. And now time to direct our attention into other places. So as per usual with these videos, we gotta lay out the narrative. What is the narrative? Well, of course, we've spoken about it before.
I mean, it's the worst vice presidential pick of my lifetime.
The addition of J.D. Vance to this ticket, it's incredibly bad choice.
Donald Trump picked J.D. Vance as his running mate. The media jumped swiftly into action, attempting to destroy his brand. And then on the flip side, they told us he's the worst vice presidential pick in American history, the least popular. No one likes him. J.D. Vance sucks. That's what they told us, right? And well, of course, look, J.D. Vance did struggle a little bit to kind of get his stride. He had some awkward moments, some clips from the past that obviously didn't help him. You know, maybe he's not the most charismatic guy. Maybe he's not the greatest campaigner. That's certainly possible. Everybody has their strengths. The idea that JD Vance sucks or that he's incompetent, unlikable, or a bad person, it's complete nonsense. It's a media fabrication. And of course, it's kind of like the Trump effect, right? Trump announces his presidency back in 2016. The media does everything to destroy him. His favorability ratings, approval ratings go straight into the dumpster. But then the more we get exposure to Trump, the more we start to like him and the more we realize the media lied about him. Well, the exact same thing I think is happening right now with JD Vance. They told you he's the worst thing ever, but actually, JD Vance is kind of a badass. You know, I'll say it again, leftoids, underestimate him at your own peril. You think he's not a threat, he's no competition, but I'd say he's doing pretty damn well as Donald Trump's running mate. Meanwhile, the other guy, little Timothy Waltz, well, not so much. Let's have a conversation about it. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, I have to admit, JD Vance really impresses me. And really, again, I think it's a skill set thing. I'm sure there's some awkward clips of JD Vance interacting with people where, you know, he's a little bit socially awkward and the left runs with it, but that doesn't tell the whole story. JD Vance isn't Trump. He isn't the guy who walks in the room, gets all the attention, makes everybody feel like $1 million. JD Vance, in my view, is more of a technical mind. His skill set is not being an entertainer. His skill set is messaging, debating, speech. In this domain, he is an absolute freaking killer. And he proves it once again going on NBC News with Kristen Welker, where he delivered a straight 10 out of 10 performance.
The Census Bureau estimates there are 22 million women between the ages of 20 and 40 who, for whatever reason, do not have children. What do you say to those women who hear some of your comments, including the childless cat lady comments, which you've been asked about, but who feel as though you won't represent them?
Well, I'd say, first of all, I will represent you. I want to be the vice president for the whole country, and I want to represent everybody. And yes, I made a sarcastic comment years ago that I think that a lot of Democrats have willfully misinterpreted. But what I've simply said is that I think that it's really a profound change that's happened in our country where we become anti-family, and I would like to change that. And I think if you talk to young women, whether they have children or don't want to have children, what you consistently hear is that a lot of young women feel like they don't have options. I saw this with my own wife, who's a working mother, who's a very, very accomplished litigator. She has 3 beautiful kids and always felt like she was having to balance being a good mom with being the kind of litigator that she wanted to be. I just want women to have more choices. I've seen that very personally in my own family, and I think it's something that is broken about our country.
Let me zoom out a little bit. Then
Please.
you're calling it a sarcastic comment.
Sure.
And yet, some women, and you got the feedback in real time, felt like it was a gut punch to them personally.
Wow.
Do you regret making that comment?
Look, I regret certainly that a lot of people took it the wrong way, and I certainly regret that the DNC and Kamala Harris lied about it.
But do you
look,
regret what you said, Senator?
Look, Kristen, I'm going to say things from time to time that people disagree with. I'm a real person. I'm going to make jokes. I'm going to say things sarcastically.
Exactly.
And I think that what's important is that we focus on the policy. There are certainly going to be things that I say if I'm elected vice president, people are going to say, well, I wish he had said that differently. I think it's most important to actually be the person I actually am and to say, those sarcastic comments were made in the service of a real substantive point. This country has become too anti-family. It's too expensive to afford a house. It's too expensive to afford groceries.
Yep.
Donald Trump and I want to change that. And unless we get better leadership, we're not going to.
But again, just very quickly, given that people have told you directly, have spoken out, have said that they were offended, they were hurt by those
Oh,
comments,
my
do you wish you
God.
never made those childless cat lady comments?
I think that it's much more important for me to just be a normal human being who sometimes says
So
things
no
that people
regrets.
Why do she keep asking him the same question? This right here just don't make any sense at all. This is where Kristen, see, this is the thing right here. This is where all these people on NBC, ABC, CNN, this is exactly what they do. She didn't ask this man this question 3 times. He gave her an answer, and now she's trying to force him to apologize when he said he was just being sarcastic and, oh, well, you really hurt those people. You really did this. Why you ain't asking Kamala Harris how she hurt all these people with these grocery prices, how she hurt everybody in the country? She been in office 3.5 years. 3.5 years. And she done hurt everybody in this country. But they ain't going to ask Kamala Harris that. They ain't going to say, Kamala, you and Joe been in the office 3.5 years and y'all done hurt everybody. You didn't let, you left the borders open. You let illegal immigrants come in here and harm innocent people. Grocery prices through the roof. Can't buy a house. Nothing. They was the one who hurt a lot of people. But now she want to go by J.D. Vance, type of J.D. Vance comments. Hurt people. And he literally just answered her question. And what do? She come right back again and ask him the same question. Is you going to apologize? It just don't make any sense at all. I just don't get it. Just asking the man the same question over and over, and he done answer your question about 3 times. When they don't get the answer that they want, this is what they do. They're going to continue to ask the same question to try to see if they can get you to get a different answer. The man already answered the question that he was being sarcastic. He said he's human. Everybody going to make mistakes. Everybody going to say stuff. It happens. Kristen Welker sitting here acting like she ain't never said nothing about nobody. They talk about Donald Trump all the time. You want to talk about how J.D. Vance hurt innocent women by his comments? But look what y'all do to Donald Trump daily. Look how y'all talk crap about him saying he did this and he did that. It's the same thing. It's a gut punch to Donald Trump, the way y'all treat him, the things that y'all say about this man every single day, especially when the accusations came up with the E. Jean Carroll stuff. Y'all was running with that. Don't you think that's a gut punch to Donald Trump? And this is what they do. Play victim. The man already answered the question, and she's constantly asking him the same thing. Just don't make any sense at all. I just don't get it.
Cat lady comments.
I think that it's much more important for me to just be a normal human being who
Exactly.
sometimes says
So
things
no
that people
regrets.
disagree with. I have a lot of regrets, Kristen, but making a joke 3 years ago is not in the top 10 of the list.
He comes with the witty remark, absolutely destroying Kamala Harris, and really in the process, destroying this phony, media-driven attempting rewrite of history, that she wasn't actually the border czar, just in charge of addressing the root causes of migration. He hits back with a witty remark, but not only is he quick on his feet, getting that viral moment, moment, but he also comes in with all the facts and actually offers a solution to the issue. Then when persistently challenged on his previous statement relating to childless cat ladies, Kristen Welker tried very hard to get him to bend the knee, and he absolutely refused, and in my view, ended up looking pretty good. Don't be forced to apologize for a previous joke or for a statement made in hyperbolic fashion. At the end of the day, the core content of what you meant, the point, is what's important. People getting offended because you mentioned cat ladies is not relevant. You know, it brings us right back to 2016. One of the big motivating factors to vote for Trump in the first place was to hopefully move past all this PC bullcrap. And so good on JD Vance for refusing to bend the knee to the PC police. Well, that's not politically correct. You should now apologize to everybody who you've offended. How about never? We're all adults here. We can understand.
Exactly. We are all adults. You talking about that he need to apologize. Won't you tell everybody that's over there on NBC? Won't you tell them to apologize to Donald Trump? All the stuff that they done said about him. Won't you tell them to apologize? If you ain't gonna get NBC, if Kristen Welker herself and all of them over there ain't gonna apologize to Donald Trump, if y'all ain't gonna apologize to him, why do JD Vance need to apologize? Because he made a statement 3 years ago that y'all bringing up only because he's the vice president? If JD Vance want the vice president, y'all wouldn't even be talking about the childish cat lady comment. Y'all wouldn't even be talking about that. It don't matter who Donald Trump would have picked. Donald Trump could have picked Vivek, Byron Donalds. It don't matter who he would have picked. They would have said the same thing. Oh, that's a very bad pick. I don't know why Donald Trump picked him. Or if it was a woman, I don't know why Donald Trump picked her. Look what she said 15 years ago. They would have did the same thing no matter what. Whoever Donald Trump would have picked, they would have got on there and said, oh, that was a bad choice. I don't know why Donald Trump did that. Why did he pick that person? Why do y'all worried about who Donald Trump picked? And this is what they do. They always try to go back years when somebody says something and try to bring it up just because they the vice president. This is the crap that they do.
The context of what he was saying. It's not a scandal. There's nothing concerning or offensive. Personally, I'm more offended by the idea that people would defend this anti-family culture. I'm more offended by that than I am anything that JD Vance said. And I think a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people support families. They want to see young Americans having kids, providing value to the nation rather than sucking it dry. I mean, the current culture that we have in the West and major metropolitan areas, frankly, we're in a pathetic state where many of us aren't having children, but rather just living hedonistic, selfish lives, taking and taking and taking. Our population growth isn't keeping up with previous generations, and so we're stuck in this position where we're facing economic stagnation or a shrinking economy. We don't have enough young people growing up to be productive members of society, paying into the system to take care of the older generation, and so the solution is just import the third world. They'll do it for us, while I smoke this little joint and drink this old-fashioned, watching my Netflix and meeting up with my Tinder date every night on repeat over and over again. We need less self-focused hedonism and more family building. You know, that's a policy I can get behind. But of course, leftoids don't want to have that conversation. They just want to keep harking on the same thing. Apologize for saying cat ladies. No, never apologize. And JD Vance did a great job. Again, he explained his stance.
And the problem is, even if JD Vance was to apologize, you know what they're going to do his next interview? They're going to ask him about it again. Just say, for instance, if he apologized on NBC, then if he go to CNN, they're going to ask him over there, can you apologize for what you said? Now he got to apologize to CNN. Then he go to ABC. They're going to ask him the same question. So it was very smart of JD Vance to give that answer. Because why apologize? Now everywhere you go, whoever the host is, they're going to ask you that same question. It just don't make any sense, bro.
Rationally, and then said, look, I'm a person. I've said imperfect things. I've made jokes. And this particular thing that you're mentioning, Kristen, it doesn't even come in the top 10 of things that I regret. Perfectly said. Absolutely acceptable. I have no issue with it. And I'm sure a lot of people that are watching this are probably thinking the same thing. It is what it is. We've all said things. We've all tried to make points while trying to sound witty or a little bit edgy. Who cares? The pearl-clutching Karens can take a frickin' hike, frankly. The media narrative surrounding JD Vance is collapsing and collapsing fast. He's actively redeeming himself, he's defending himself effectively, and most importantly, he's defining himself and going on the offensive. He is flipping the script, and like I mentioned in the intro, I mean, just to finish off the video, all while this is happening in the backdrop, Tim Walz's brand is falling apart. He's got so many scandals, and the scandals keep mounting. Now we're learning that he lied about an association with the Harvard group, I believe. Kind of interesting coming from this guy, by the way.
That angst that J.D. Vance talks about in Hillbilly Elegy, none of my hillbilly cousins went to Yale, and none of them went on to be venture capitalists or whatever. I had 24 kids in my high school class, and none of them went to Yale.
This guy keeps talking smack about JD Vance because he went to Yale, keeps talking smack about Ivy League schools or Ivy League graduates. Meanwhile, he lied about a Harvard association on his resume. And that's not the only lie that's been exposed. Just this week, additionally, on top of the mountain of lies that have been previously discovered, JD Vance is on a tear, and Tim Walz is looking like an absolute dud. You know, Tim Walz has one shtick. I've been watching this guy going,
yeah, the same man that want to put tampons in boys' bathroom. Signed the bill to put tampons in boys' bathroom. Same man that let Minneapolis burn to the ground. Just let it happen. And the only thing he got to talk about was J.D. Vance and him going to Yale. But the same man who left the army, literally dropped out when it was time to go to Iraq and Afghanistan, he left. Just straight left. But he want to talk about J.D. Vance going to Yale? See, this right there just go to show you he has no talking points at all. He have nothing to say about J.D. Vance, but the same Yale stuff about where he went. That's all he want to bring up is Yale. How can you trust any man that want to put tampons in boys' bathrooms? How can you listen to anything? Look at this man. He look like he lies.
MSNBC for years. He does the same thing over and over again. He has his staff write him the most partisan attack lines. He delivers these cringe ad hominem attacks, and that's pretty much all he's got. Well, he's probably going to have to debate JD Vance. That's if they don't run away from the debate, these absolute cowards. And frankly, I don't think he stands a chance. I mean, you could just imagine it. It's one thing to be at the DNC and attack people who graduated from good schools. It's another to be face to face with a person and just keep going on and on. You went to Yale. Yeah, that's not an argument. And that's certainly not a political platform. When comparing the two candidates, the media tells you Tim Walz is, oh, he's the greatest, he's the country's uncle, he's Joe Biden version 2.0. Yeah, okay. Maybe in the sense that he's a plagiarist and a liar who totally fabricated his resume, then sure. But they talk about Tim Walz as if he's the greatest thing, and JD Vance is so horrible, irredeemable, the worst. Well, obviously that isn't the case now, is it? And the more exposure we get, the more that becomes evident. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got.
There we go, right there, man. Y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think about that. But I mean, come on, trying to force JD Vance to apologize when these same people, Kristen Welker themselves, that said all these horrible things about JD Vance, said all these horrible things about Donald Trump, but they are yet to apologize to them about what they done said. But you trying to force JD Vance to apologize for a 3-year-old comment? Man, get up out of here with that. Even if J.D. Vance just said that, what is he apologizing for? He ain't got to apologize for nothing. We all human. We all say stuff. We all done said something wrong. Like, they acting like J.D. Vance is the only one in the world that done said something that nobody liked it. We all say things that people don't like. We all do that. So now they just want to point J.D. Vance out because he's Trump's VP. That's the only reason they trying to go after him. If you realize at the DNC, the only thing they was able to do was go after J.D. Vance and Donald Trump 4 nights straight, just going after them. They had no policies, had nothing to say with the way they're going to try to help the American people. It was just slandering Donald Trump and J.D. Vance for 4 days straight. That right there just goes to show you they have no policies. They are liars. They playing the race card. Now they're trying to make it seem like Donald Trump is a racist. Like, get up out of here. We ain't falling for none of that crap. So y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.